Welcome back to our channel, US Mint Mysteries, where we explore the rarest and most valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history and current value of 4 of the most valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. If you're a collector, treasure hunter, or just curious about what makes a coin worth thousands or even millions, then this video is for you. The 1951 penny was minted in San Francisco, as identified by the small S mint mark below the date on the coin's obverse, the front side featuring President Abraham Lincoln. More than 92 million of these pennies were struck that year. So while they are not the rarest of the wheat series, some specific features or conditions can make them very desirable to collectors. The design of the Lincoln wheat penny remained the same from 1909 to 1958. On the obverse, we have the profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, with the words, "In God We Trust," above, "Liberty," to the left, and the year and mint mark to the right. On the reverse side, the coin features 2 wheat stalks curving along the edges, symbolizing American agriculture and prosperity, along with the inscriptions, 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto, Pluribus Unum, meaning, love many, one. In fine condition, your 1951 wheat penny shows clear details, though it may have some wear on Lincoln's jaw hair and the wheat stalks. Even so, it still retains its historical and collectible appeal. So, what is the value of a 1951 penny in fine condition in today's market? While most circulated examples in average fine condition sell for 5 to 20 cents, there are exceptions. If the coin shows strong details with little corrosion and an even tone, especially if it has a natural reddish hue indicating original mint luster, collectors may pay up to $1 or more. But here's where it gets interesting. Coins with errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can fetch significantly higher prices at auction, even $20 to $100 plus, depending on the uniqueness of the error and the demand. In auctions, error varieties or certified high-grade 1951 wheat pennies have sold for hundreds of dollars, particularly when graded Ms. 65 or higher by professional services like PCGs or NGC. Even a seemingly minor variation can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. It's always worth examining your coin under good lighting or even a magnifying glass to spot any doubling, unusual spacing, or other minting errors. Collectors value the 1951 penny not just for its potential monetary worth, but for what it represents: a snapshot of post-World War II America. In 1951, the United States was growing rapidly. It was a time of industrial boom, Cold War tensions, and early days of the baby boom generation. The wheat penny was in every American's pocket, used in grocery stores, candy shops, and gas stations. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small piece of American history. So, whether you found this coin in change, inherited it from a family collection, or just pulled it from an old coin jar, take a closer look. Even in fine condition, your 1951 wheat penny has historical significance and might be worth more than you think, especially if it has an error or a high-quality strike. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938. Replacing the Buffalo nickel. It features the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse was designed by Felix Schlag and shows Jefferson facing left, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," on the left, "Liberty," and the year, 1960, on the right. On the reverse side, you'll see an image of Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, with the inscriptions, "E Pluribus Unum Monticello, 5 cents," and "United States of America." The 1960 Jefferson nickel was minted at 2 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which struck coins with a small d mint mark to the right of Monticello on the reverse. Over 55 million nickels were struck in Philadelphia and nearly 193 million in Denver, meaning the 1960D is more common in circulation. Now, let's talk about the condition. In fine condition, A 1960 Jefferson nickel will show moderate wear on Jefferson's cheekbone, jawline, and hair. The details of Monticello on the reverse may appear flattened, especially on the steps and dome. However, the inscriptions should still be readable and the coin should be free of major damage or corrosion. In this state, the coin is considered circulated but collectible. So, what is a 1960 Jefferson nickel worth today in fine condition? In most cases, these coins have a modest collector value because they were mass-produced. A regular 1960 or 1960D nickel in fine condition typically sells for 5 to 20 cents in the current collector market. However, there are some important things to look for that can increase its value significantly. Some rare varieties of the 1960 Jefferson nickel include coins with full steps on the Monticello building. This means all 5 or 6 steps at the base of the building are clearly visible and unbroken. These full-step nickels are difficult to find in circulation, especially from older years like 1960, but they are highly prized by collectors and can sell for $10 to $50 or more, even in circulated grades, and much higher in uncirculated condition. Another thing to look out for is any minting errors. These could include double die strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. For example, a 1960D nickel with a strong repunched mint mark can sell for several dollars even in fine condition. In rare cases, a dramatic error nickel could fetch hundreds of dollars at auction, depending on how prominent the mistake is. Even though most 1960 nickels may not be worth a fortune, they're still an important part of American coin history. This was a time when America was entering the 1960s, a decade of huge cultural and political change. The Jefferson nickel was the workhorse of American commerce, passing through the hands of millions of people each day. Holding onto a 1960 nickel is like holding a piece of that history. So the next time you come across a nickel in your change jar, take a second look. Check the year, the mint mark, and inspect the coin carefully. You might be surprised by what you find. Even in fine condition, these coins can be worth more than their face value, especially if they have a hidden variety or error that collectors are searching for. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The obverse design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a left-facing profile of George Washington. Above his head is the word Liberty, to the left is the national motto, In God We Trust, and at the bottom, the year of mintage 1988. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace. The inscriptions, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and $quarter surround the image. In 1988, Washington quarters were minted in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins feature a small D on the obverse side to the right of Washington's ponytail. More than 562 million were minted in Philadelphia, and over 596 million in Denver. Because of this high mintage, most 1988 quarters are considered common in circulated condition. Let's talk about condition. A 1988 Washington quarter in fine condition shows visible wear on high points like Washington's cheek and jawline, and some smoothing on the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Despite the wear, the coin's details should still be mostly clear, and there should be no major scratches, corrosion, or deep damage. This is a typical grade for coins that have been in use, but still hold historical and collectible interest. In today's coin market, a regular 1988 quarter in fine condition is worth about 25 to 50 cents, slightly above face value if sold to a collector. However, that doesn't mean there's no potential for value. Some 1988 quarters are known to have mint errors or varieties that can make them far more valuable than face value. For example, a 1988 quarter with an off-center strike, a double die, or a clipped planchet could sell for $20 to $100 or more, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Another interesting variety includes strikes on the wrong planchet, like a 1988 quarter accidentally struck on a 5-cent blank, or even a foreign coin planchet. These major mint errors are extremely rare, but have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. There are also collector premiums for uncirculated or proof versions of the coin. If you find a 1988 quarter that appears to be in mint state condition with full luster, no signs of circulation, and possibly full strike detail on the eagle's feathers, it could be worth $5 to $15 or more, especially if professionally graded Ms. 65 or higher by services like PCGs or NGC. The 1988 quarter also represents a time before the United States began the state quarters program in 1999. So while it doesn't have a state design, it's part of the last generation of classic eagle back quarters, which many collectors now appreciate for their simplicity and traditional look. Coins from the 1980s, like the 1988 quarter, are starting to gain interest as they approach vintage status, especially in high grades or with errors. If you've got a collection of quarters, now is a good time to go through them. Look closely for mint marks, wear patterns, and any strange features that might point to an error. Even small things like die cracks or repunched mint marks could turn an ordinary quarter into a valuable find. Remember, some of the most exciting coin discoveries come from everyday circulation. The Washington quarter has been a part of American coinage since 1932. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse of the coin, designed by John Flanagan, features a profile of President George Washington facing left. Above his head is the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," is to the left. Beneath his neck, you'll find the year of mintage 1987. On the reverse side, you see an eagle with wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. Around the edge are the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter, dollar. In 1987, the U.S. Mint produced these quarters at two locations, the Philadelphia Mint, which struck over 582 million coins, and the Denver Mint, which produced over 655 million coins. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while the Denver coins feature a small D mint mark on the right side of Washington's ponytail. Because of these high mintage numbers, the 1987 Washington quarter is considered a common coin. It was made from copper nickel clad, not silver, and most examples, especially those in circulated or damaged condition, carry little to no premium above face value. Let's talk about what bad condition means. A 1987 Washington quarter in bad condition will show heavy wear, loss of fine details on Washington's face and hair, smooth or barely visible lettering, scratches, discoloration, corrosion, or even damage from environmental exposure. These coins were used in everyday transactions for decades, and as a result, many have been worn down nearly flat. So, what is the value of a 1987 quarter in this bad condition? In most cases, its value is simply 25 cents its face value. Coin dealers and collectors generally look for coins in fine to uncirculated condition, or those with mint errors or special varieties. However, don't be discouraged, because even heavily circulated coins can occasionally carry added value if they have certain rare features or minting mistakes. Some error types you might find include double die obverse or reverse, off-center, strikes, clipped planchets, struck through grease errors, or wrong planchet errors. For example, if a 1987 quarter was struck off-center by 30% or more, even in bad condition, it could still sell for $10 to $50 depending on visibility and completeness. Rare die breaks, cuds, or repunched mint marks can also attract collector interest, and in some cases, even damaged coins with dramatic errors have sold for $100 or more in auctions. If you happen to find a 1987 quarter with unusual features like extra thickness in letters, strange shadows around the date, or a weak strike only on part of the coin, it may be worth having it examined by a professional grader or error coin specialist. The key is knowing what to look for, even when the coin seems worn out. Also, Remember that some collectors build full date and mint sets of Washington quarters, so they may still need a 1987P or 1987D to complete a collection. While bad condition coins are rarely in high demand, unique varieties, oddities, or even sentimental interest can sometimes push up a coin's value modestly in private sales or online listings. In summary, a regular 1987 Washington quarter in bad condition is generally only worth face value 25 cents. But if it has a major mint error, or struck on the wrong planchet, or something dramatically unusual, it might be worth a closer look, and potentially much more.